Welcome to the Nephology podcast. I'm your host, Joe David, and I'm the founder and CEO of Nephos Group. On this podcast, we talk to founders, innovators, disruptors, and entrepreneurs from all across the globe who are building in Web3, technology, and finance. And if that's something that you're interested in, please hit that subscribe button to make sure you don't miss out on any of the latest episodes. Now on to the next episode. Hello everyone, welcome to the latest episode of the Nephology podcast. I'm back in Dubai after filming a few over the last summer months in the UK. So delighted to be back and welcome Hedi. Hedi, how are you today?
Hello Joe, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Thanks for having me. Thank you very much.
No, I would say welcome back, but you didn't leave, right? You were one of the few people.
I stayed like a real one in
still
Dubai
in the
during the whole summer. No, that was very, very interesting. First real full summer here for us.
Yeah. So you moved here in end of April, you said, right?
Yeah. So the company is open since 2023, but we definitely moved here by the end of April this year.
Yeah, okay.
So we had to stay to put everything.
Get settled and
yeah.
I know how it is. When I first came to live, I came in July, I think. So we were here as well when no one else was. And it gives you good time to settle.
But you know, when you hear people talking about the summer in the UAE, you expect so hard. So you are so prepared.
Yeah.
But at the end, you say that, that's okay.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah. And I don't know what it's like, where you've been before, but in the UK specifically, like the issue is they're not set up for anything, right? Yeah. So if it rains really hard, it's a problem. If it snows really hard, it's a problem. If it's too hot, it's a problem. Whereas at least here, they kind of know what they're going to get, right? Yeah. It's going to be hot, so it's set up for it.
Yeah.
So like you say, you go from air-conditioned building, car, shopping mall, now streets have got aircon. You go to the beach, they've got big aircon units now. So yeah, it's pretty set up for it.
No, very, very cool.
Yeah, cool. So anyway, let's get into it. So we've obviously been speaking quite a lot over the past few months. Even before you were here, I came on I think it was the first episode, right, on your podcast?
Yes, the first episode of the Knowledge Capital.
Yeah. So we'll link that as well in the description so people can find that as well. So we've been talking for a while, and this is a very overdue kind of conversation. But let's start with like who you are, your journey, and how you got here today.
Yeah. So my name is Hedi Mesme. I'm the co-founder of Limitless Capital here in Dubai. My background is much more focused on luxury hospitality. I started in the hospitality industry since I was 15, and I directly moved to the luxury hospitality. So I used to work with Alain Ducasse, for example, and I worked between Paris, Courchevel, and Saint-Tropez, so mainly in France. I was really focused on that. In 2012, I had a kind of attraction to prescription. So I love the brands, I love the product because I was much more on the bar side. I was a bar manager in a top 5-star hotel, and I fell in love with the products, with what the story is, and all the products that we had. So I started to go on the prescription. I moved to work with Diageo, which is a UK-based company, the leader of the spirit industry in the world. I worked as a global ambassador for Ciroc brand, Ciroc vodka.
Yeah.
And I stayed like 1 year and a half, and directly I was very attracted to build my business. So I kept I was really entrepreneur in my mindset since early. When I was bartender, I opened a company to do private cocktails and parties in villas in Saint-Tropez and so on. Nice. So I was 23 at that time. So I was always attracted to that. And then I said, okay, I saw an opportunity to leverage the network and the experience that I had in the hospitality industry. And after working for Diageo and understanding the global impact that brands can have on the world, I decided with my wife, which is my co-founder right now in Limitless Capital, to open our own import-export business. So we stayed in the hospitality industry, but started to go more on the business side and more on the sales side. So my wife was also a part of a big group of Bacardi Martini. So we just joined the experiences that we had. We started to import some brands in exclusivity, spread it across France, Europe, and the world. Then we also created our own brands. It was the natural path for us to go, because when we started to grow our customer base, we saw that selling other people product, we said that now we have 5,000 customers. We can basically create our own brand and make more margin and starting to sell it. So we started we created a brand that was very successful at that time called Cash Cane Rum. It's a rum from Barbados, Trinidad, and Panama.
Wow.
Yeah, it was very, very good. So we saw an opportunity in the market to bridge the gap between bourbon style, Jack Daniel's style, and the rum. The rum was exploding at that time. It was 2017. Diplomatico, Don Papa, all that kind of really Hispanic brands came into the market, very sweet, very affordable. So we said that, okay, we have an opportunity. So we created a brand. It was going really, really fast. We were developing in 15 countries in Europe. Wow. Very good traction, very good feedback from the market. And 2018, we were elected Innovation of the Year by Forbes magazine. So everything was going very well. And then COVID hit. So as a lot of people involved in the hospitality industry, we took advantage we tried to take advantage of these sad events to turn into something new. So I had a passion at that time. I was really fascinated by blockchain technology and how it can help to scale businesses. And especially as I was coming from hospitality, I saw maybe an opportunity to integrate blockchain into the hospitality industry. Yeah. To improve reliability, security, transparency, and efficiency. So I started to dig into that. I tried to build some stuff. It was not very successful, as many business we try, but I went deeper into the technology, and then I was oriented more on the fintech product. When we met at the Web Summit. It was, I think, in 2022.
22, I think it was, yeah.
So we met there. I was in a fintech product at that time. We were all very, very good. At the end, not going that well, and we continue. So at the end, I got caught by the tech itself and understanding the possibility of blockchain, crypto assets as a utility way, much more than speculative, tokenization, and all the new tech. So this is why that pushed after in 2023 to open Limitless Capital here in Dubai. First, at that time, we were living in Spain, but for us, the future was not in Europe. So we decided to say that, okay, it's good to start to move some business and start to build in a hot spot in the world. And we saw that the UAE was very, very keen and very, very framing well the tech initiatives. Yeah. So we said that this is good to go there. So we opened the company there and starting to develop a few things. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of answered the question, which was why you ended up in Dubai. You know, everyone's always got. I always find it's interesting because people have always got a different story, but they're ultimately a similar story. Which, you know, especially coming from Europe, is normally because they don't see at the moment European, you know, countries to be that progressive or that positive when it comes to entrepreneurship and fintech and especially things like crypto and blockchain. And then they look at this part of the world and they see the huge investment being put into technology, AI, crypto, etc. Even like the UAE government, I think last week announced a new visa initiative around AI entrepreneurs. You know, so it's very, very clear where they're going. So I guess that was the clear driver for you, right?
Yeah, totally. We really wanted to start a new venture in a country or region we see as the future. Yeah, that will be supportive to tech initiatives. So for us, it was quite natural. Also, the geography was really interesting. Yeah, because we are seeing like in the Middle East, we are very positioned between Europe and Asia, close to Australia, not far from Africa. So the only continent we are far from is the US, but it was a good. It was a good combination. So, yeah, it was very natural to move here, and then we started to develop our network. So, by living in Spain, we came here 2-3 times a year. So we tried to maximize each time we came, and then it was very obvious that early 2025 we really decided to move because the business was growing, the demand was growing, the opportunities were there. So we said that it's time to move.
Yeah, I think here as well, it's become more and more a place of you need to be here to really get out of it. What, you know, do you know what I mean? Like if you're not here, you do miss opportunities. Mm-hmm. If you're here, there's opportunities every day. You know, so we were the same. You know, we had the business 2022, I think we set up. But it wasn't until 2023 that we moved because we weren't sure. We were thinking about it, but it was very clear once we were here that there was no going back, right? The opportunities just don't stop. And I guess that's the same you found in the few months you've been here, right?
Yeah, and as I say, the main difference with the UAE and Dubai compared to all the other parts of the world is all people who are living here are not native from here. So they all came on purpose. So when you come somewhere on purpose, your mindset is very differently open. So people are looking for opportunities, open to opportunities, and offering opportunities because they understand that synergies and alliances that you can build can make you stronger because the capital is here. The capital is here to make the growth happening. So the key point, the key difference, why it's so attractive for all the people in the world is, I think, exactly for that. The opportunities are 100 times faster than
I agree. In theory, you don't come to Dubai to then do a 9 to 5, sit at home. As a European person, right? You typically are coming to Dubai because you want something different. You really want to kind of change your life, or you want to experience something different. So you're rarely going to come and just sit and do the mundane day to day. Like it's just not in your mindset for most people. Like you say, most people are coming here for opportunity, deals. People want to do deals here.
Yeah.
I also find here, I think we spoke about it before, but I also find here that success is celebrated. In Europe, it doesn't feel like that.
Yeah.
It feels that if you're successful, you're a bad person, and that shouldn't be possible. Whereas, here it feels like if you are, and I don't just mean in the government, absolutely, but I don't just mean in the government. I also mean between individuals. I see people that are successful here, and I'm super kind of impressed, and I'm saying to them, well done. I'm really proud of them. Whereas in the UK, you start to be successful. You're a bit afraid to say you're successful because you get looked on in a different way. And I'm sure you've seen that as well.
Yeah. And as I said, the UAE is the new American dream.
Yeah.
They learned from the American history to build that kind of will to build. They learned from the mistakes. So this is why this ecosystem is moving much faster than any part of the world. Yeah. Even if the US is going back on the scene now with Trump and everything, and all the crypto regulations coming, and all this massive acceptance of new technologies. The thing is, this country is built on that, the UAE. So when the UAE is built on something, and this is they put some agenda, they put some timeline, they put some deadline of what they want to achieve with the D33 agenda, or all the things they are putting in motion. They are very clear with their intention. So all the founders that are clear with their vision and clear and honest with their objectives, this is natural to come here. Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree. And so we kind of touched on it, but the journey you went from working, in bars, albeit that sounds like a backstreet bar, but we're talking about high, luxury, high-end bars, obviously. But from working, managing, running, etc., the bars and the scene, and I'm sure in Saint-Tropez there's some good fun to be had in some of those some of those bars. Like what was was there a trigger that kind of was like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I not, I've got this entrepreneur, because I always say to people, I wasn't born an entrepreneur. Like, you know how people are like, I was born an entrepreneur and blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm like, I wasn't. I started working, and then I realized, actually, I've got a good work ethic. Actually, I really enjoy business. Actually, I could probably do this for myself. So there was a trigger point for me. Was there one for you the same? For me, it was, I was always a creative guy. So I was really inspired by creativity, by breaking the rules, by going outside the box. So this is why I used the bartending as two things. So the bartending, it was not like serving some draft beers. I tried to be in the elite of the bartending. I was elected best French bartender, best European bartender. I wanted to be in the elite of what I was doing. And what was very interesting for me in the bartending, it was much more the luxury experience and the people that this job in the top 5-star hotel in the world will allow me to meet. I met Bruce Willis, I met Tom Cruise, I met top football players. I spent time with them in their own privacy.
Yeah.
Because they are having time with their wives or
Yeah,
with
their downtime.
their kids. So you are just participating to improve and enhance their relaxed time. So when they are relaxed, you can have conversation. I think it's another subject, but I had conversation, or I live for some moment with top superstars that are very crazy. And the thing is, I was very attracted to that. It was like the luxury experience, feeling what is to be in the top, in the elite of the world. So then I moved to I started to get out. I knew that I was not born to be a bartender, and I was not, but I was good at that time. And I said, I know I will do something else. So I moved then to the prescription, so to become an ambassador. So I started to understand how to build a commercial strategy, how to speak in public, how to convince people, how to trigger emotions when you want to trigger a sale. So it was like developing some skills. And when I felt ready for that, I decided to create my own business that was related to importation and exportation.
Yeah, okay.
So
that makes sense.
it was a step-by-step, like natural. When we look back, it's seen as something more, okay, that makes sense. But of course, if you look at the starting point and now, that can be complicated.
Yeah, but there wasn't you didn't wake up one morning and go,
no,
I'm an entrepreneur.
No.
You know, it's very much a progressive kind of, you learn, and that was the same for me. You learn this, you learn that, you understand that, you think, why are they doing it like that? Why can't we, and you just start to have these ideas, right? And then all of a sudden,
I'm not sure you are born entrepreneur.
No,
I think you become an entrepreneur. You discover yourself. And I think an entrepreneur, the ultimate driving force to become an entrepreneur is chasing freedom in some way.
Yeah.
That can be financial freedom, that can be any kind of freedom. But freedom is very important for an entrepreneur that persists and continue in the mission and the journey of building.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think that's the other thing with, people look at luxury, financial freedom, all these things, and they think that's not the answer. And I'm like, the answer is whatever the answer is to that person, and if financial freedom, if luxury life, if spending 2 days a week working and the rest of the time with their family, all these things are different for different people.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong.
Yeah.
It just depends on what's right for you and how it fits with you and your life. So I agree. It's finding that freedom in whatever form that may be.
Yeah. As I always say, it's like when you want to you always have things to do that are imposed to you. You have to do some stuff. The real freedom is not being free and doing everything you want every day, because you have some things you have to do, for family side, for your personal life, for the society. If you want to be an asset and not a liability, you have to do some things. But the real freedom is choosing choosing what you have to do.
And probably then enjoying that thing. Like you say, we do have to work, even though we're entrepreneurs, we have to work because we have to earn money in some way, even if it's a different way to a 9 to 5. But we do have to do that in order to give the life to our families that we want and all those sorts of things. But the fact that I wake up every morning loving what I do is a very, very good thing, as opposed to waking up in the morning and I have to go to work and I don't want to go to work. And that's the difference, right? Is your freedom is a choice, but also it's something you enjoy.
Yeah.
And if you didn't enjoy it, you could change it.
Exactly. And the thing is, when you become an entrepreneur, you take full responsibility, and taking responsibility of what you are doing and the impact of what you do, and your decision of today will impact tomorrow. This is very important, because we are in a system now where we give you a salary for your time. And then this is why you are feeling uncomfortable when you wake up in the morning, because it's not fulfilling your soul. My point of view.
No, yeah.
I think because the people are confusing two things. They think that it's gathering things to have will make them happier or better, while the real thing that is making someone growing is becoming something. And what is great with the entrepreneurship journey, it's like you become along the way a new person by the experience, by the setbacks, by the skills, by the people you meet, the experience you have. So becoming is much more important than having.
Yeah.
And this is why this is the real motto for an entrepreneur.
I love that. I genuinely love that, because I think, the real thing for me is when people say money can't buy happiness. And I'm like, I understand the concept, but actually I don't fully agree with that. I think that, if I had more money, I would be happier, like as simple as that, right? I could maybe buy a bigger house for my family. I could, do what I do think I would be happier. However, if I had more money and I was in a really shit job that I didn't like, then I wouldn't be, so I think that's the difference, right? It's not that the money doesn't buy the happiness. It's that maybe the way you're getting the money isn't buying the happiness because you don't feel like you belong or,
When you are an entrepreneur, the money is the results of who you are and what you build, what you become. So this is why people are chasing the wrong target. It's you have to focus to become something, and having something will come by itself. It's not magic stuff. It's like if you focus on becoming, you have some frequencies, or you become someone, and then what you will have, you will get what you are.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
This is it can be a long debate, a long story, but this is I think this is the real thing for entrepreneurs, and what we try to teach through our activities.
Yeah. Well, let's move then on to nicely there segued into what you're doing now. So you've got Limitless Capital. So maybe tell us a little bit about Limitless Capital. I know that you've got a kind of different way of looking at venture capital, so then we can touch on that as well. So tell us first on what Limitless Capital is and does.
Yeah. So between 2014 and 2023, in 9 years, we built almost like 8 or 9 companies in 5 different countries. So we faced a lot of things. We gathered a lot of experience in many industries. We met a lot of things. We built. We failed a lot. We learned a lot. And then we said that there is a huge gap between founders and venture capital. A founder has all that kind of vision, motivation, and so on. And the venture capital is putting a check on the table. And the link that they have at the first place is a deck. They have a deck between the founders and the venture capital. So we saw that investing a venture capital should be much more than capital. It should be filling gaps. When we are working with, so we are doing venture capital as a service. So how we say venture capital as a service is we try to fill the gaps for early stage founders at pre-seed or seed stage. To bring our experience, to bring some kind of shortcuts brought by our own experience. So it can be a bit of mentorship, a bit of commercial skills, go-to-market, marketing, preparing the company to raise funds. So this is what we identified, because we identified this lack in our own businesses. We said that we wanted to raise funds, and we said that they do not understand what we want. And then we learned a lot. We learned a lot by the fact that it's not about raising money and showing to the investor how you will spend the money. You have to show to the investor how you will save money to make the business happen.
I always find that really weird, where I'm chatting to founders that are building a plan, and they're like, but I've got a check in the pipeline for 5 million, so I need to show them how I'm going to spend that 5 million. I'm like, why? Like, surely you want to show them how you can achieve the same thing without spending all of the 5 million. It's always a weird.
No, and I think this is our experience that is very valuable to early stage founders. And this is why we see also great opportunities here in Dubai, because a lot of founders are funding companies, and then directly they create a deck and they want to raise funds. But I said that don't chase money to be stolen about what you are building. When we enter in a venture with early stage founder, we identify the gaps that they need to fill. We try to build a plan. We understand their problem, and when we enter, they grow their team, they grow their expertise, we bring some shortcuts, some experience, and we help them to become investable. The problem is, like, we are receiving 10 decks a week of people who have ideas. Ideas today is worthless. Ideas is like, especially with the AI world, you can have ideas that you click, you do something, you have 20 ideas. Execution is everything. So where we enter is exactly there. Venture capital as a service is we enter before you start to raise money.
Okay.
So we come, we structure, we design commercial strategy, marketing, route to market, fundraising strategy. We make them prepared to raise funds, but to raise funds in a smart way, which is not giving away your equity. It's raising funds to apply a plan that makes sense. and that is focusing on bringing money in the company.
And are there other people doing what you're doing? Because it's not something I
think we can be seen as an accelerator incubator.
Okay.
But the thing is, accelerator incubator, they are VCs in becoming. The approach we are really hands-on with the early founders. So we work with them. We allocate like 2 hours, 3 hours a week on call session. We set we design some small sprints where we have some KPIs to track, and we go with them. And we try to really make them focus on what really matter at their stage. Because when you are pre-seed stage and you envision the IPO, for example, there is a lot of steps, a lot of things, and a lot of skills to develop as a founder.
Yeah.
And this is why also we created on top of that a mentorship program called the Limitless Mastery Club. So this is a part of our VC as a service business.
Well, maybe let's touch on that now, and then we can kind of come back to some of the other points I've got in a minute. You know, because you've got, like you say, you've got the VC as a service, right? So what does the mastery kind of club, what does that bring on top of, and why is it a separate thing? Why is it not just like part of the service you offer in the VC side?
Because when we started to be in touch with early stage founders, we also met companies that was already established with 10, 20 employees, making like revenue and so on. But they were struggling in scaling. And scaling, what I mean by scaling is making more revenue by spending less, or at least not more. So we gave some advice, and some people say, oh, I would love you to be a part of just 1 month. We would need like you restructure a bit what we are doing, training a bit the staff of thinking like, for example, the commercial strategy really being really straightforward. So we saw that we can really compartmentalize our features, our skills, and deliver a la carte service for the company. So the Limitless Mastery Club is basically what we offer in our VC as a service model, but it can be also a la carte service for companies that want to train or to restructure or to rethink their fundraising strategy, their go-to-market for one specific product, or their communication. So this is everything we can help.
So it's kind of breaking down the VC side into a modular kind of approach where people can then go, well, do you know what? I really want to focus on this part. Go to market, for example, and they can literally get that content that they need in order to go to market on their product. And things
so
like
the a la carte service is based on that, but we have a mentorship program that usually we focus on at the VC as a service.
Okay.
Because we understood as founders, and as founders who failed a lot, succeeded a lot, raised funds, lost and everything, we understand that to persist and to become what you want to become, you need to win the inner game. You need to understand who you are inside you and how you have to react when you are facing challenges. Because we saw some data that are crazy. It's like 70% of entrepreneurs give up because they feel burnout, which is normal because when you are a founder, you take care of everything. You want to be everywhere. You have the ideas. You have an opinion of everything.
Control freak. You know, you want to control everything because if you don't do it, it's not.
So of course, all the basic stuff like trusting people you work with. But I think if you want to be a founder that is visionary and leading, because at the end, when you are a founder, you become a leader. When you become CEO, you are not hands-on. You are much more designing, driving the communication, driving the way the company is moving forward. And to become an entrepreneur with that vision and sticking to your plan is much more using all failures, all challenges as a library that you can use bricks by brick, building who you want to become on the way. So as I always say, it's like before winning the game, you must win the mind.
No, it is true. So in that context then, you know, is there is there a place for somebody to be in the kind of VC as a service, but then also tap into some of the information on the kind of Mastery Club? And then do you bring all that together? Like, do you bring people together? Do you bring founders together? I'm assuming as part of this, you can introduce investors and
yes.
Do you write your own checks, or is it all
we
external?
Invest. So yes, VC as a service basically is in exchange of our service, we take equity in the company.
Okay.
This is the business model. Then we add some modules on the top of that. I would need more presence. I would need more focus on that. We come, and this is where we plug the Limitless Mastery Club modules into that.
Nice.
The mentorship is always the main thing. We believe that by giving 4% equity at the good mentor early stage, you will save 25% equity before your Series A.
Okay.
Because when you have the valuable people and the valuable skills in your early stage team, you understand that you don't need that much money to make your business grow. And this is what we try to teach. We try to teach to the people it's much better to have 5 killers than 20 wankers.
Yeah.
Because we speak about accountability. The more people you have, the more people are hiding behind to-do list. Instead of keeping responsibility on the task and chasing the goal and more than the goal.
Yeah, and it's difficult though, isn't it? Because ultimately in a business you need, especially when you grow, on day one, obviously you need killers. You need people that are going to go out there and deliver. But as you grow, you also need doers, because if everyone's a killer, you have a big shootout. But if you don't have enough killers, you don't get there. But then when you get there, you need to make sure you've got the doers. So it is one of those difficult balances, isn't it? Where you go, why doesn't that person have the drive and then you go, well, actually, that's why they're in the role they're in, which is nothing wrong with that. But if they had what we've got, then they wouldn't be in that role. And then what, So it's a real balance, right? To get those real core killers, and then the people that also want to just deliver on their 9 to 5 and go home, as it were.
I took this example because we are very focused on, I think the value we can bring is very at pre-seed seed stage.
Okay.
So it's very early stage. So we are very focused on that because we think the gap those founders miss are critical here.
Yeah, okay.
And this is where we think that the idea is much more adding value than extracting anything from them. So we think that everything that the experience we had is very valuable, and it's a good win-win for early stage founder. But I agree. At some point you need to grow, but it will be a different game. It will be something different. If you want to succeed, to become a good company that is showing real traction to potentially go to IPO, you need to have that foundation and have leaders, the 5 killers that I said, that are growing with the company, stay leaders, and understand what is to be hands-on.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. And so kind of coming back then to when you're talking to these founders, what are some of the real key things that you're seeing either people lack or maybe they have? And when you see that, like you say, one or the other, you might see that they're lacking these things and they need a bit of support or some mistakes, easy mistakes they make. But also you might look at someone and go, they've got exactly what I would expect. Like, what are some of those things maybe that people have or don't have that they need?
As I said, early stage founders, they want to grow, to have a team. They want to look good because there are 20 employees. I think, first of all, you need to see if your business is worth something. So to see if your business is worth something, you need to see if people are ready to pay for what you're offering. So this is what I said to the people. No, you don't need money. They come to me, I need to raise $1 million for that. I say, okay, where are your customers? We will do this. Yeah, where are your customers? Yeah, but where are your customers? Who is paying you right now to justify that I will put more money to get more customers? So we always think that we have a lot of great ideas. Oh, yes, I have a great solution. But the problem is we help founders to focus on the problem of their customer. They need to be totally obsessed with the problem. They need to enter in the problem like so deeply that they will be able to design the roadmap of the company for the next 10 years. And I think this is why the companies that are in the middle of our life right now are good at. They understood what people will need in the future. But to understand the need, you need to understand the problem we are facing. So the problem with tech, especially coming back to the tech, you identify a problem or niche. you see a problem, and then behind you create a solution and you only focus on the solution. And then you fall in love with your tech product. And you are like, my product is so great. But the problem is you forget to have the traction and to have the customers paying for that. So you fall too much in love. You develop some features, crazy thing. People do not understand what you are doing. You have to understand, like, if you want to have massive impact, you have to be as simple as possible. So to come back on what we teach to them, is like the money in first rule, what we call money in first. Before spending thousands and thousands, you just create a website, create a hook, mock up stuff, put an ads, and see if people are paying for that. If they're not paying, you just lost $100. You go to the next. So it's like it's shortcuts we give to them.
Yeah, it makes sense. And how do you, like, because obviously I totally get that, but how do you take, like, where you got a tech product, say that maybe offers a free product on day one because they want to build user, because we've seen this in the crypto space, right, where they go to market on a test product or something similar, or they don't charge fees on day one or something like that, and they get loads of users, and they go, look how many users I've got, and I'm like, oh wow, that's really good. And then they flip to a paid model in some way, and then all of a sudden they have no users. Do you find that, I don't want to say a lot, but like, do you find that where people try and give away to go, well, look at how many people, you know, is that kind of blinded by the users rather than the fact that then when you turn on a paid function, I'm sure you've done it with something you've used in the past, and then as soon as they flip to page, you go, they didn't value it that much.
So if that happens, it's because the commercial strategy was not designed well. I think you gave too much early, or you didn't give enough for the paying thing. You need to understand how your customer think, and data are very important for that. So this is why AI tools are really helping to analyze a bit the attitude of the customer when they are using your product. So I think the free hook is always working, but you need to have a plan to release some features that are needed and showing them in the free tier that it's needed, and then cutting the access to that because you see that they are using it. So they will start to pay because I'm using it. I need it. You know, but you need to try. It's much more about, this is what I come back to. It's like, you don't need to spend on your tech like crazy. You need to have the response of the market. So you need to try because 80% of things that you will do will fail. You need to understand that. So you need to try, succeed. We keep, bam, bam. But if you do that by spending 500K each time you try something,
you won't last very long.
Because people are very, very blinded by the tech boom that we had 10 years ago, or the internet boom that we had 20 years ago. And they think that investors are not throwing money anymore like this. They want to see traction. And to have traction, you need to have people ready to pay for it. Traction is not free user. Traction is people paying for what you have. And once you have that, you can start to build.
Yeah, it's really interesting, right? Because I used to think, why on earth, they're like MVP, most, what is it? Most viable?
Minimum viable.
Minimum viable product, that's it, sorry. And I used to look at that and go, when I'd speak, because we did quite a lot when we were in the UK around the accounting tech space, and we would talk to, and we still do, but like less so now, but like we would talk to a lot of accounting tech startups, right, where they would be building this new thing and blah 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 blah. They were like, look, we got our MVP out, we want you to try it. And I'd try it and I'd go, well, it doesn't do this, and they're like, yeah, but it's an MVP. And it used to really like piss me off, to be honest. I used to be like, why are you giving me this thing that doesn't work? But as I've then worked with more and more tech founders, I've started to realize exactly what you've just said, right? That you need to get that MVP out, because if you don't, you could spend years building a product that's perfect, that goes to market. Nobody wants to use it. So when I was a user, like at the start, I was very much like, I don't get this. It's annoying me that you're giving me this product that is not finished. But as I started to then become more of an entrepreneur, I started to work more with these tech founders. I really started to realize how valuable that MVP model was.
Yeah, exactly. And this is why we created at Limitless Capital the concept of a tech marketplace, because we designed and developed a lot of tech on white label system to help entrepreneurs to go to market fast, to see traction. The thing is, we are still the proprietary of this tech. So we said that now we designed a tech marketplace where people can use our ready to go to market tech to see if they have traction with what they want to do. And once they have that, they build their deck with us as partners, and to build their technology from scratch, but showing to the investors, we invested $5,000 or $10,000 in this MVP. We are getting this user this amount of revenue. If you put 10 times more money, I will get that.
Yeah.
This is how it works. And this is how investors are, okay, I will follow, because an investor wants to invest. He's not gambling.
No, yeah. And numbers don't lie. You know,
Yeah.
if you can demonstrate numbers, numbers data, numbers don't lie.
Or forecast. The forecast is like forecast. Total addressable market, service.
Yeah. I get it. What kind of touching, if you like, on we've kind of broken this out a little bit, but I'd love to hear from you, like how you see that kind of founder journey, like from where they start from an idea all the way through to like how you then. I know we've broken it individually, but I'd love to hear the journey just from you. And at what point do they not leave you, but what point does it then fly the nest or what have you?
So we go. We are with them until where they want.
Yeah.
So our factory, what we call, is like we go from confusion to clarity.
Nice.
So we analyze their needs, not what they think they need, what we identify as need at their stage. we raise the weaknesses, the strengths, and then we propose to fill some gaps with our expertise or with our network or with our advisors. We design a plan. After we design a plan, we go to activate that plan. So when we activate, we design some sprints with proper KPIs to allow the founder to really see a real change in less than 30 days in how the business operates. And we provide the mentorship on the top of that. How, for example, organizing a session, pitching session. Mm-hmm. I really encourage a lot of people to pitch their product to any people as much as they can, because that will train them to speak in public. That will train them to sharpen a bit the way they communicate, because the feedback that they will receive from the audience will help them to sharpen more what people is looking for. So doing that, training them to speak, training them to pitch, and to understand their business and what is the priority right now, which is showing traction. Then after the sprints have been designed, we try to develop the roadmap with them. Usually the first 12 months are really critical. And once we reach the 12 months program, the company is investable. So usually this is where we start the intro with investor, or we start to invest ourselves. Mm-hmm. To be totally transparent, in our deal, when we enter, we know that we will bring a lot of value for 12 months. So when we deal with an equity-based deal, we also deal a kind of stock option to be sure that we can enter at a fair price. Okay. And we introduce our...
Otherwise you push up your own price, if you like.
Yeah. We try to be a bit smart. And we introduce some investors to them. So this is a real fast track for them to build something really, really, really good and having an investable product. So this is what we do. And this is why also we have a new plan to open in Q1 2026, the Limitless Hub. So the Limitless Hub will be like under one roof. We'll try to build a creativity ecosystem. We'll have podcast room. We'll have pitch room. We will have events room. We will have offices, co-working spaces, where we will be spending time with all our partners, all the companies we are invested in, and trying to bring value. Bring value.
So it is that kind of, I don't want to call it community because everyone says community.
But
it is that kind of like, all of your kind of founders you're working with get to speak to other founders.
Exactly.
But it's a very specific kind of group, if you like. It's and what I was going to ask you was like, is there a criteria that you have when you talk to a founder? Like, is there something that you go, if you aren't willing to do this, or if you don't do, like, is there, because a lot of people I speak to, they're like, I've got this amazing idea, like, let's chat through it. And you're like, okay, next one. It's like a factory. I know you mentioned, but it's like, can I have the next one? Like, can I have the next one? Yeah. Like, have you got like a criteria before people can join, or how does it?
We do not enter in negotiation or work with people if they do not have a working product.
Okay.
So imagine, as I said, 10 decks a week we received because they have a great idea. We are not here to make their idea happen. What we want to see is founders that are taking responsibility and want to move forward and showing that they are really serious about what they are doing, because they already have a product. So they have something.
Yeah.
And if the product is resonating with the market, with what we see right now as opportunity, we go deeper. Then we directly talk to the founders and we assess a bit where the founders is at. If the founders is a great dreamer but a bad executor, it won't happen. Because we are a short team, we want to still keep our short team and really focus on what can be very, very exponential in the next years.
So it is a very selective process.
Yeah, it is in some way. We are not like, it is selective.
It's not anyone and everyone.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. So I guess like just to kind of close off, I always like with these things, to give people some real value from the conversation. Like so I want to ask you kind of two questions, but in the same thing. So what are some of the biggest misconceptions that you see, in tech, in building ventures, etc. But then also like if you could give a couple of takeaways to a founder that listens to this and goes, that is something really kind of great. Yeah. I can like, if you could answer that, I know they're kind of the same, but different.
Yeah. No, I think what we are seeing, it's very fresh because we are in the middle of that right now. People are falling in love with their solution too much.
Okay.
And they lose the track with the problem of their customers. The problem of their customers are evolving because your customers are using a lot of other products. So the problem that they had yesterday is not the same that they have today. So you need to track what is the attitude and the problems of your customers. And then you need to put your tech adapting to that. Falling in love with your product is one of the biggest mistake. Then underestimating the tech feasibility of things.
Okay.
Because now we have a lot of AI tools that can help you to build really solid MVPs. But the thing is, if you really want to have something that is very scalable, you need to work with very, very good CTO that are understanding what is the business and building something that can be very scalable on the tech side. So do not underestimate the tech involvement and the tech development that you will have to reach what you want to reach.
Yeah, okay, nice. And then one, maybe two takeaways you could give like a founder to think about when they're on that journey?
When they're on their journey.
Putting you on the spot.
Yeah, so now focus on becoming someone. So gather experience, use setbacks as bricks, as steps to grow, and focus on your why.
Yeah.
The why is very important. And when your why is very strong, the how is coming on the way. For example, someone who wants to become rich and think that this company will make him rich, what we teach is like, what you want to become? You want to become rich or this company to become successful? At the end, I don't know. So just use your experience as all the setbacks as bricks that will build who you will become tomorrow. So focus on becoming, not having.
Yeah, I love that. So look, I've really enjoyed this conversation. It's one of the, we speak a lot, and it's one of these things we could just keep on talking about. But where can people find you? We'll obviously link everything in the description, but where can people find you and Limitless Capital?
Yeah, Limitless Capital, they can contact us on LinkedIn, Limitless Capital Dubai. We also have our website, limitless-capital.eu. They can contact me on LinkedIn also, Hedi Mesme. They can send an email to business@limitless-capital.eu. And and we will open the Limitless Hub for our founders and partners probably in the Index Tower.
Amazing.
Q1 2026. Not done yet, but we are working on it.
Exciting. No, well, thank you so much, Hedi.
Thank you very much, Joe. Thank you for
always welcome. A pleasure when we get the chance. So yeah, speak to you very soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.